In this video I'm going to discuss ways and ideas of writing modern jazz melodies in the style of Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock and others. I'll go through three main ideas and techniques, showing examples throughout, and I'll compare them to older standards so you can see the differences clearly. And like many of the older jazz standards, there are lots of the same principles and techniques that make them good tunes: strong motifs, repeated rhythms, and sequences, etc. 1. Greater emphasis on intervals as a motif, rather than arpeggios and approach tones. Especially in the use of more open intervals such as fourths and fifths. Just as classical music in the early 20th century started to use specific sets of intervals as a motivic device, jazz after 1950 started to do the same. Have a look at ESP by Wayne Shorter. There are a ton of fourth intervals in the melody. It's almost entirely built from fourths. And have a look at Nefertiti. There is a motif of descending minor seconds that is followed by some leaps downwards, with plenty of fourths again. Here is the modal classic, Maiden Voyage, by Herbie Hancock. It's entirely built from fourths and seconds. And here is Dolphin Dance by Herbie Hancock. Again, there are lots of fourths in important places. As a side note, there is substantial use of common tones to pivot between interesting chords in Dolphin Dance. This is a technique I talked about in my video, How to Write Modern Chord Progressions like Wayne Shorter. Check that video out if you haven't seen it already. Wayne utilised common tones in Nefertiti as well. For comparison, let's have a look at some older standards now. Here is Blues for Alice by Charlie Parker. Look how many arpeggios there are, and the melody is really idiomatic and nice to play on the alto sax. And here is Bernie's Tune by Bernie Miller. In the A sections, the arpeggios outline the harmony, and the approach tones embellish it. And there's nothing wrong with this, it's just part of the style. Donna Lee by Miles Davis is similar. It has lots of arpeggios and enclosures which outline the harmony. 2. Harmonically ambiguous. Typically you can get a pretty good idea of the key of a traditional jazz standard from the melody alone, even if there's some chromaticism. But have a look at Nefertiti by Wayne Shorter. Here is the melody without the chords. It is hard to know what key we might be in. It starts off in a D-flat area, then meanders away up the scale. Then in these two bars it looks as if we have hit D Lydian, and then E Lydian as we have a nice sequence here. Even with the chords back in, it's hard to determine the key. Here is Dolphin Dance again, this time without the chords. We start off in a flat key, and then we start to get to B natural and then F sharps. Then it looks like we might be in C major before we get to some flats in the melody again. Part of the reason the melody works is the repeated rhythms and the motif is really clear and strong. The other reason it works is because of the common pitches that I mentioned earlier. Then in the climax, it looks like we could be in E major. And talking of climaxes, this leads me on to the third technique in writing modern jazz melodies, which is more of a dramatic shape in the melody and form, and less repeated sections. Have a look at Dolphin Dance again. There is a clear climax and dramatic shape to this melody. The form doesn't have repeated sections, but the shape of the melody and climax is really clear. It's higher, has a new key center, and has a different rhythm to the rest of the melody. Infant Eyes by Wayne Shorter is an interesting one, as it has repeated sections like a standard might, and in this case it's an ABA with 9-bar sections. But the B section is clearly the climax as the pitches are higher. Like in Dolphin Dance, there are really clear thematic ideas. A scale going down followed by a leap upwards, and an arpeggio or fourths leaping upwards followed by a leap of a third down. By the way, I wrote an arrangement of Infant Eyes in a previous video. Check it out if you haven't seen it. The Sorcerer by Herbie Hancock has a clear dramatic shape in its melody without repeated sections. The melody works its way up to the climax, and the last phrase releases some of that built-up tension. These structures are quite different to the typical jazz standard. Let's compare this to Olio and Bernie's tune. Both tunes have plenty of repetition and don't contain any climaxes. An exception to this are some vocal standards which often contain a melodic climax, especially in the last section. This can be primarily a melodic change, such as in Here's That Rainy Day, which has an altered last A section, or You Go to My Head, which is an ABAC structure. This makes them great tunes to arrange as it helps you to shape the climax of the arrangement. If you'd like to hear my arrangement of You Go to My Head arranged in the Miles Davis Gil Evans style, then check out these two videos. The link is in the description. So what do you think of these three main techniques? If you like this, let me know and maybe I'll make a video where I compose a modern jazz melody. And I have some news. Recently I joined forces with arranging heavyweight Toshi Clinch to deliver a regular ongoing arranging class to you all. The arranging studio is built on a month-to-month structure where members will have 2 different sessions per month. In the first session, we'll walk through a certain topic and then provide an arranging prompt that needs to be worked on between sessions. Then we will all come together for the second session, where we'll show you how we chose to tackle the task, as well as go over a number of participants' work in a masterclass/workshop format. We're limiting the studio to 15 participants per month, with payment being on a monthly basis. Members can opt out at any time. Probably the best aspect of the studio is that the members will get to dictate their direction every month, meaning that the topics covered are relevant to what you want to learn. If you'd like more information, you can find the link in the description. Peace.